Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece episode 834, and what an episode this was! Like, holy shit! Like, I basically saw Yonko Productions on Twitter saying that this was an awesome episode, but even then, like, I didn't think that it would be this intense of an episode, and this episode was honestly too good to even put into words at times because there was just one crazy thing after another happening, and there was the usual anime only content, but even then, that just added to the experience because it was just all pure. It was just all purely like the Straw Hats struggling. It was all just purely the Straw Hats fighting the Big Mom pirates, and if there was ever a time that I like anime and canon filler or whatnot, it's basically when they add it to the fights and use it sparingly because you don't want to overuse it and have the fights just make no sense. But they added just enough to the point where I could believe that I was just like really getting into these fights. So yeah, and but like I said, the whole concept of this episode, it wasn't anything we haven't seen before. It was just the Straw Hats trying desperately to survive an all-out brawl with the Big Mom pirates. But I think what did make this unique this time around is the fact that when you look at the whole situation of what's going on right now, Big Mom's reaction to this dismantled wedding cake and the destroyed photo of Mother Caramel, it kind of threw a curveball at the Bege-Luffy Alliance, as they didn't get the end result they wanted because their struggle to try and move forward with because they didn't get the end result they wanted. So because of this, because of the fact that the Big Mom didn't really react pretty much the way they wanted to, this pretty much threw the whole assassination plan into this pretty much threw the whole assassination plan into disarray. Well, one assassination plan anyway. Well, their assassination plan anyway, and because of this whole thing of the fact that they're struggling in order to get that end result. Now the whole fights feel a lot more urgent. But yeah, even like honestly, if things pretty much went awry this easily already, I think even if they were to salvage the assassination plan and get it back on track, I'm not really convinced that Big Mom would really. I'm not convinced that the assassination plan would even work at this point. Like, yeah, I think this was like a total. Like, honestly, I think this whole plan has already fallen apart to the point where even if they do get it back on track, I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's really gonna work anymore. But yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna warn you guys right now that the next probably couple minutes of this review, I'm gonna be going into full on rant mode, and you probably know who I'm ranting about. Judge, we need to talk because any minuscule amount of respect for you I had, any minuscule amount of respect. Like you're basically a rotten. You and majority of the Vinsmokes, you guys are rotten fucking dirty You guys are rotten bastards to the core, and I hate every single one of you except for Reiju. Reiju and Sanji is the only ones decent in your fucking family now. But any minuscule amount of respect I had for you, even knowing what kind of an asshole you are, just went out the window in this episode the moment you started bawling like a little baby about being betrayed. And normally I wouldn't be so hard on him, and I will be fair to say you who plays Judge did actually kind of help me feel a fraction more sympathy for the character here than in the manga. But Judge, at the end of the day, you're supposed to be the ruler, the king of Germa Kingdom, a country that is feared for their science and assassination skills. So what the hell are you doing bawling like a little baby who didn't get his way? Hell, I'm actually even more actually, it's not even that. I'm actually even more surprised you let yourself fall into this trap so easily without at least 10 contingency plans in play. I mean, seriously, what the fuck were you expecting to happen? Did you honestly think that a pirate and a young go of all people would actually honor an agreement? Because if you did, then Judge, you're even more of a dumb fuck than I gave you credit for. And honestly, I'm gonna even make an even bolder statement. This, like, Judge's reaction, his crying in this episode, makes him look worse than the Celestial Dragons. And yeah, I just said that. Judge, you just became worse than the Celestial Dragons. Because you're supposed to represent a kingdom that is feared, and you're crying. What the heck are you doing, Judge? What are you doing? Like, really, you just basically gave the entire freaking underworld a bad name to the Germa 66 by doing what you just did there. Like, holy shit. And yeah, Reiji was right on the money with what she said. You turned your about Yonji and Niji's reactions to the whole situation. You turned your sons into what they are, Judge. Soldiers who can't even recognize the basic principles of emotion other than to be cold-hearted and cocky little shit. So, yeah, don't go expecting any fucking sympathy from any of your family when you're the one who basically turned them into that. Like, or even, like, yeah, like your sons don't even freaking care about the fact that they're going to die now. So, yeah, don't go looking for sympathy in that corner either, dude. Like, seriously. Although, I will say, the one saving grace for that was seeing Pedo. The one saving grace to that scene, I will admit, seeing Pedo's rape kill face. That was probably one of the creepier rape kill faces I've seen in a while, and one of the creepier rape kill faces I've seen up to this point in anime. So yeah, the one saving grace was seeing Pedo be all creepy and rapey in that scene. But yeah, other than that, Judge, just fuck you, Judge. Seriously, like. I have nothing for that scene. It's like, Judge, go fuck yourself. You're not even worth the time. And you're not even worth the time of day to even worry about it. I don't know why Sanji's gonna even try and save your. I don't even know why Sanji's gonna try and save your dumbass. But all right, so let's switch gears a bit, and I will say the person who is continuing to have. On the flip side, like, Judge can go fuck himself for all I care, but on the flip side, the one who does actually have my sympathy in this episode is Pudding, and the Seiyu actress playing the role definitely did a phenomenal job at capturing her pretty much indecision at this point in the series. Like, after what happened with Sanji of saying she thinks Pudding is beautiful, you can really see that the Pudding is struggling with everything she's pretty much ever believed in or ever thought or ever kind of freaking experienced at this point. And like I said, the Seiyu is doing and like I said, the Seiyu is doing a phenomenal job at capturing that. But you really got to think, like, she's basically been through all this shit in her life, she's been called ugly and a monster by both her family and just random fucking kids and people off the street, who, honestly, again, with the parallel stuff, like, Oda, like, One Piece really likes to go with that parallel shit, Pudding herself is very beautiful, but the people who are calling her a monster and ugly are basically the ones who are just fucking ugly as sin. So, like, seriously, you little shits don't have any reason to call a person like Pudding ugly at all. But anyway, and what's interesting here is that what's interesting about just the whole Pudding scene in general, honestly, is the fact that, like, I don't think she really even expected someone like Sanji ever to make her. I don't think she realized ever in her life of what kind of person Sanji would be like. Sanji is a whole different breed of human, and that he's the only one who can truly save her. Honestly, it sure as hell. Sanji's the only one who can save her, and it sure as hell ain't gonna be anyone in her current family. Especially after seeing what Daifuku did to her, I'm convinced that the entire Charlotte family, outside of Big Mom, because she's kind of bonkers right now, doesn't only sees her as kind of expendable or just a hindrance at this point. Also, is it just me, or did anyone else feel uncomfortable by watching Daifuku constantly rub his stomach after he released his genie? I know it's probably part of what makes his devil fruit powers work, but every time we cut to a shot of him just rubbing his stomach, of him doing that, of rubbing his stomach, it just looked wrong and uncomfortable, and like, yeah, please never do that again. Like that just looked weird. It's not even a problem with art and animation, or it wasn't even an art and animation problem. Although could argue it didn't help, but just seeing him do that just seeing him do the action in itself was like, whoa, that was creepy. And one last thing I want to talk about in this episode is the confrontation between Oven and Pedro. And yeah, if you haven't thought about it before, if you haven't thought about it up to this point, then here's basically a reminder of the death flag that's on Pedro. Because and of course the dialogue in this episode between Pedro and Oven just kind of reinforces that. Yeah, Pedro's got a bullseye on him for sure. And at this point, I'm convinced. And I'm also convinced at this point that Donachino was kind of that whole filler character on the Lovely Land arc, in the Lovely Land filler arc, was basically a tease towards Charlotte Oven's introduction, because they have the exact same devil fruit powers. Only difference is the syllables in the names of those devil fruits, like heat fruit, hot fruit. Like yeah, there's not much of a difference. Like I think Donachino was literally created in order to tease Charlotte Oven to us. So yeah, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Night of Anime, signing off. Seriously, Judge, fuck you.